Hi, my name is Wisal. I'm 24 years old and I'm from Morocco.
Hi, assalamu alaikum. My name is Zainab Ibrahim.
Hi everyone, my name is Nadia Nilvanisa and I'm from Indonesia.
Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. My name is Selma Boushibti and I am a senior studying biomedical sciences at the University of Central Florida.
Hi, my name is Talih Hussein. I attend North Marion High School and I am in 12th grade.
Hi, I'm Amanda and I'm from Malaysia. I'm currently 21 years old and I'm studying geology at the University of Washington, Seattle.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is May. I'm originally Egyptian, but I was born and raised here in America.
Assalamu alaikum guys, my name is Randa Al-Gindi and I'm currently a senior studying health sciences at the University of Central Florida.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rania and I'm a leadership and success mindset coach. I'm also a mother of 4 beautiful kids.
Hi, I'm Fatima and I'm a freshman at Oregon State University.
For me, hijab it's not only means the scarf that I wear to cover my hair, but it also about how to dress modesty for especially in public, and also it includes how to behave in general based on what the Sunnah and the Quran say, and also everything is simply just do something good through every part of your life.
Hijab is a physical reminder of the way I choose to represent myself, and most importantly, it is a way for me to show my devotion to my religion and to God. Actually, hijab provides me with the strength I need to overcome any challenges or barriers in my life. Just like how people choose to wear a ring or to have a tattoo to remind them of something personal, I chose hijab to do that. And to me, the physical aspect of my hijab should not be judged. It is not about how I look, but only about how it makes me feel.
The hijab is a symbol of my faith. And this is how I decide to represent my faith. There's like this joy that I have of being visibly Muslim. Before I wear hijab, a lot of people didn't know I was Muslim. I found that a little bit frustrating. Now that I wear it, people tend to know that I am. It can attract positive and negative and just neutral reactions, but I mean, to me, it's worth it.
For me, my hijab means love for my religion, and by wearing it every day is one of the ways I show my love for Islam.
The hijab is kind of a safety net for me. Like it's a shield. It protects me.
The hijab as a whole gives me a sense of protection from God, helps me feel modest, and it really gives me an opportunity to represent the peaceful acts that Islam truly teaches us.
The literal meaning of hijab is to cover oneself. However, in Islam, there is much more to it than that. Hijab in itself is a way of life, and it represents a set of codes us Muslim women and men as well follow in order to regulate our daily lives. And these rules and codes are an embodiment of morality and modesty. And they combine how we represent ourselves, how we speak, how we behave, and how we treat the others.
One thing that I think, I wish that people knew about hijab is that hijab will really come into your life and force you to reinvent the way that you look at life. It will take lessons that you thought you knew, such as how to find peace, how to find contentment, how to be confident, how to be a motivated person. And it will constantly show you that there is a deeper meaning to all of those life lessons. Things that you thought you knew that you are learning to rediscover, and it will beautify them in such a way that it will really reinstill a purpose and life back into those things with an intention that is going to ground you and center you throughout your life.
That I think a lot of women are not, like, a lot of women have the choice to wear it. I mean, there are unfortunately women who are forced to wear it. And I don't agree with that. I don't think anybody should be forced to do anything. But for a lot of women, it's their choice. And it kind of baffles me that it's so hard for people to believe that, I choose to cover my hair. Although, yes, I I love my hair and stuff, but I made the choice to cover it because, like I said earlier, it's a symbol of my faith. And that stands true to a lot of Muslim women who do choose to observe the hijab.
That we don't take showers in it. Like, we take this stuff off. It's not on 24/7.
One thing I should tell you about it is that it's really not as hot as it seems.
My role model in this is all the righteous women we have in life, and our biggest role model is Sayyida Maryam, which is Mary, peace be upon her, the mother of Jesus, peace be upon him. We have a chapter in Quran that discussed her life and her story, and how modest and how righteous she was, and she is my role model in this.
Well, I wish people could understand, not only in a country where Muslims are a minority, but also in a country like mine, in here in Indonesia. Wearing hijab doesn't mean you don't have flaws. Like, wearing hijab doesn't mean you don't make mistake. But the thing is, when you start wearing hijab, it means you are in the beginning of trying to do something good. Like, you try to obey the Allah's order, like His order, through Islam, through our religions, because everything He asks us to do as a woman, it all for our good, it all for our safety. Yeah.
Honestly, I wish people could understand hijab is not just a piece of cloth, but rather a protection given to me by Allah, God. For example, when you have something valuable, don't we usually try to protect it, like buying it a case or wrapping it to protect it? This is how I feel about the hijab. It's just Allah's way of protecting us and honoring us.
Although it's mandatory in our religion to wear the hijab and dress modestly, some girls don't do it, and that's completely fine. It's okay to make that choice on your own. Because at the end of the day, the decisions and the practices made by that girl is only between her and God. That's it. We can advise our sisters, but we have no place to force the hijab on them or judge how they practice Islam. Period.
A big misconception that I always hear or see circling around, I think this one's really common, about the hijab or the concept of hijab, is that wearing it and having to cover certain physical aspects of ourselves is a form of suppression. And in reality, I see that as quite the opposite, because we're not suppressed in our thoughts, our ideas, our personalities in any way, shape, or form. Instead, we're able to celebrate those qualities that really make us who we are to the fullest extent without any distractions. So as a hijabi, I have control over myself in a way that I'm able to pick and choose what aspects of myself I would like to highlight to others. I get to emphasize what parts of me are important and that I would like to share. It's honestly quite a liberating feeling knowing that I have that ultimate choice to myself in that regard.
The biggest misconception I hear a lot is that Muslim women are forced to wear it as well as oppressed by wearing it. But rather, hijab honestly it sets you free. Why in today's society and media do women have to be uncovered to be accepted, and those who cover are frowned upon, feared, and even hated? It makes the most sense to me that as a woman, I want to be judged on my personality and brains and never looks. In the end, it is simple. It is Allah's commandment for us, for protection, but we choose whether we want to wear it or not. It's really just a personal choice.
You know, it's not their choice. They're being forced, because that's, like I said, it's not true for many women, for many Muslim women who do choose to wear it. And also that we're terrorists. I mean, we're not. A lot of us are not terrorists. Majority of us are normal people. But I think you can say that with Muslims in general, people, unfortunately have these false views of Muslims. But I think because, hijabis are visibly Muslim, some people might think that they have dangerous intent, but we do not. We are just normal people living our lives. We pay bills, we go to school, we go to work.
The biggest misconception that I think people have about women who wear hijab is that it limits you from expressing yourself or your personality or creatively more so than the average person. And I cannot say enough how false that is. I recently completed 3 years wearing hijab, And I have had people and still have people reach out to me, both Muslim and non-Muslim, who tell me that they enjoyed watching me grow into the person that I am today, after I started wearing hijab, because it just gave me a confidence to go out and attack each day with a renewed purpose and intention. And it really allowed me to grow closer to myself, and, get to know myself in a more intimate way. And so one thing that I don't think is limiting is certainly my hijab. If anything, it is so empowering, and it has not taken away anything from my creative ability or personality. If anything, it's just enhanced the both of them.
I hear a lot of misconceptions or a lot of false ideas that talk about hijab and that our girls are like forced to wear it. These are all not true. I put hijab when I was 19 and out of my free will, and since then I am very, very proud and happy, and it gives me that inner peace for me, because it meant that I obeyed the command of my God.
Wearing my hijab makes me feel happy, proud, and protected.
It makes me feel like people give me more respect for some reason. Like when I started wearing it, I got more respect, and it makes me feel strong. It makes me feel confident.
So wearing the hijab actually brings me satisfaction in all aspects. It makes me feel closer to God and what I believe in, and I think that makes me stand out in a good way. It emphasizes my conviction to God, and it demonstrates my strength in that I'm less likely to succumb to peer pressures and end up doing things just because other people around me are doing it. And just because it's something that's normalized, it doesn't mean that I have to do it, right? I recognize that I may look or be different than my peers in some regard, but I mean, through that, I'm staying true to myself, and I'm making choices on an informed basis with things that actually resonate with me, rather than simply following the status quo or relying on others to show me how I should look or how I should act.
To be honest, I don't really think about this too often because it's just grown on me. But it just feels like it's a part of me. It's like another, it's almost like a limb or something. It's literally just a part of me. And I do feel a little off when if there was a time I didn't wear it. So I don't know, how does it make me feel? It makes me feel good, but I want to answer this as honestly as possible. I don't want to say like, oh, every day I feel liberated. I mean, I just feel like I'm putting on another piece of clothing, and like I said, it is a symbol of my faith, so that I don't know, a mixture of that, and it also it's just grown on me so much that I just feel like it's a part of me.
So hijab makes me feel so many things, but off the top of my head, I would say that hijab makes me feel proud, humble, protected, safe, powerful, and truthful to myself. It's amazing. You think it's just a piece of cloth, but really, hijab is so much more.
When I wear hijab, I feel very grounded, very centered as a person. When I wear hijab, I'm representing more than just myself. I'm representing a community, an ummah, my morals, a message. And it really makes me aspire to walk this earth humbly and kindly. And it pushes me to reevaluate the way that I approach things in life. And it really allows me to enjoy fighting my own pride and ego on the daily to ensure that I'm being a more compassionate person and being the best version of myself that I could possibly be. And I think I would be a more superficial person than I am right now had I not taken a moment to really discover hijab and the lessons behind it that it's constantly teaching me.
Hijab is a word in Arabic that means a barrier or something that separates two things, or also a cover. And we use it to describe the piece of cloth that we use to cover our heads with. When I say hijab, it does not mean only that cover of the head. It means that I cover most of my body except for my hands and my face. So who do we cover up from? We cover up from all the men in our life who are not very close in a very close relationship with us. So I cover up from anybody, all the men except the husband, the brother, the son, the uncle, the grandparent, or the father-in-law. And it is an order or a command that came from God through our scripture, our holy book, which is the Quran. And the order came to all the girls and women to cover up from all the men who are not very close in relationship with them.
Yes, the hijab is a head covering that Muslim women are, commanded to wear, but it is so much more than meets the physical eye. The hijab is really, the best way I could put it is the hijab is a beautification of your character, whether that be the way that you speak, the way that you walk, the way that you talk, your relationship with others, how you carry yourself, how you make goals, how you carry out your purposes, your intentions. The hijab is really a beautification of your character overall, and it goes far beyond just trying to be modest or wearing, a head covering. And so definitely with a smile upon my face do I love to tell people that, because it would be a really great dishonor to limit hijab in that way. And I think overall, hijab at its essence is really a beautification of your character as a whole.
For me, it is, a symbol of modesty. Like I said already, my faith. It is something that, Muslim women choose to wear.
The hijab is worn for modesty reasons, meaning that people would only judge you based on your character and who you are, rather than what you look like. So hijab is not only what you wear on your head, but how you carry yourself.
So if someone were to come up to me and ask me what I was wearing, what it meant to me, I would introduce it as hijab, a form of clothing that is prescribed for Muslim women, but it stands for as a symbol of modesty, and it displays a sense of pride, right? So it displays that we're like proud of what we believe in, our tenets, because being a Muslim woman means deriving our strength and our resilience from the divine. And having respect for not only ourselves, it goes beyond that. Having respect for those around us. It encourages us to stand tall with the understanding that each one of us, regardless of who we are, where we come from, has the ability to be a beacon of hope, right? An ray of sunshine within the chaos that overcomes all of our lives. As Muslim women, we strive to be kind to ourselves and those around us by always putting our best step forward.
So basically, hijab is not just an attire for me. It represents who I am, my mission in life to be closer to God. For example, a nun's attire represents her mission and what she stands for, and we all know this just by her dress. It's the same thing for the hijab.
Well, it happens a lot when I went to the United States last time. So how I explain it to them, the first thing is hijab is my identity. So like I want people to know if I'm a Muslim. So that's why I'm wearing my hijab, and also because I'm so proud of using my hijab. And then the other thing is wearing hijab is make me feel safe. Like I feel like most of the time people respect me because I'm following my religion's order.
Because I am visibly Muslim, I am a little bit more conscious of, how I behave. One thing that I really, since putting on the hijab, it made me realize that I feel like since I am, a lot of people know that I'm Muslim, I don't want them to have like a bad perception of me. Because whether I wear the hijab or not, I still want to, be a good person. But because of this headscarf, I am more conscious of how I treat people, because I don't want people to have like this false perception of Muslims, especially based on my behavior. Now, is it fair to judge, a whole group of people based on, one person? Absolutely not. But unfortunately we do that as people, and I don't want that to start with me. So I would say that with wearing the hijab, I'm just very vigilant of the kind of person I am, and how I impact other people's lives.
Wearing the hijab has changed my life because it makes me feel like I'm wearing my religion on my sleeve. So it makes me work harder to act better so that Islam is represented the way I want it to be.
I always feel like wearing hijab is not an obligation for me. It's not something I need to push myself to using it because most of my families and my friends and people around me, we're all Muslims, so most of them are wearing hijab. So I think it's more like part of my family. No, I mean it's part of my life already, and because when I'm wearing it in public, it makes me feel like I have to behave based on how I dress, and it slowly shaped me to be a better person every day. So. And it's okay if sometimes we make mistakes because people make mistakes, and that's part of the learning.
This world is constantly trying to get you to chase tangible things, whether that be like the next job, the next promotion, a paycheck. The hijab has changed my life in the sense that, I truly found contentment, and I stopped rushing through life. So, it has only cemented my identity as a Muslim in the fact that now, I used to be someone who defined my goals and my aspirations within worldly limits, and now I use my faith and purpose now to define my goals. I don't really use other people's status quos or limitations to decide who I should be or where I should be in life. And I've given myself a much more beautiful and strong, security blanket to fall onto when I need it, when I need the strength. And it's really allowed me to stop and redefine the way that I judge my actions and my goals.
I started wearing hijab when I was 13 years old, so it's been 11 years already. Nobody really forced me to wear it. I chose to wear it myself. It was out of conviction. Hijab is part of who I am, and it is part of my identity as a Muslim young woman.
It did because it gave me the opportunity to represent my religion, which I'm very proud of. I wore hijab everywhere I traveled in the world, and it gave me a chance to proudly represent Islam.
So wearing the hijab has changed my life in so many positive ways. 16 years ago, I put it on and have since been trying to continuously improve myself by representing Islam in the best way possible and in the best manner. I feel a duty to gain knowledge in Islam, since now I feel I'm a walking representation of Islam in public.
Ever since I started wearing the hijab, I've become more cognizant of the things that I do, because since I'm visibly a Muslim, people begin to associate anything that I do with either Islam or Muslims as a whole. And it becomes a great accountability check, and it makes me a better person because I'm not mindless in the things that I do. I'm more likely to take a step back and think about what I'm doing before I go ahead and do it. And I think that makes me a kinder and better person because of it.
It is sometimes frustrating when someone expects me to be or to think in a certain way because I choose to wear the hijab. And sometimes I find myself having to overcompensate or to speak on behalf of everyone who shares my faith. But I know that I honestly cannot imagine my life without it. Hijab is more than just a pretty piece of cloth. It's a loaded, pretty piece of cloth. And despite all the difficulties and the certain amount of discipline needed to wear it, my hijab is inseparable for me. It is entwined to my identity.
Because of what hijab means to me and the fact that I've had the privilege to experience all the beauty that comes with it, the hardest times for me to wear it come when I'm surrounded by people who not only do they not know what it is I'm wearing or why I'm wearing it, but they also don't have the courtesy to understand or ask questions directly from the source. And I think that as free-thinking individuals, we should always go to the source of a matter, whatever it may be, explore it, then pass our judgments on it, and not rely on secondary sources to form our view of the world. So beyond the prejudice, it just hurts to see that some of our communities have lost that desire to understand things on their own and just take that initiative and have just become passive receivers of information. And like you lose that sense of critical thinking, the discourse, the empathy, all of it is lost.
One specific time where it was the hardest for me is when I first wore it. I was in 8th grade and I was freaking out about it, like when the first day to go to school, and I was just like, what are people gonna think? I don't even think people knew I was Muslim because I don't look like it without the hijab, so I was scared. But I decided to pull through. If anything, my parents were like, hey, you don't have to do it. And I was like, nah. Put my seatbelt on. I was like, let's go.
Honestly, I'm blessed because since the day I put it on 16 years ago, I never felt what I believe to be a hardship. And let me clarify. I have, just like most hijabis, gotten tossed at profanity and go back to your country and you must be part of ISIS, you know, from women, men, and even small children. It makes me feel sad at the ignorance out there and the ignorance that's being filled into small minds and how the media ruins the true meaning of Islam. But at the same time, it makes me stronger and more faithful and seeking a bigger need to be out there and representing Islam the way it truly is and not the way it is portrayed in the media.
I would say two things. When it's super hot, because I live in Florida and it be hot, so sometimes it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge for sure, especially on those days where it's like 90, 100 degrees. And then also, I would say when I'm in places where the population isn't so diverse and Muslims slash hijabi women are not a part of that community. I become kind of very self-conscious, and I try to avoid those places because it can be a little bit scary, especially with if I'm in a place where I know generally the demographic of people and generally how they may perceive Muslims. I tend to kind of be a little bit timid. So even though I don't want to, I don't want, it's not good to generalize, but also it's a safety thing.
Wearing the hijab is the hardest when I'm in new environments and I worry that people are judging me based on their warped opinion on what Islam is.
The hijab has been a huge part of my life ever since I turned 13, just a blooming teenager trying to fit in. Of course, it's pretty difficult in today's society wearing like long skirts and long shirts and wearing a headscarf in hot summer days, or even going to the gym covering myself while I work out, being stared at, being judged upon, being called Islamophobic slurs and racist slurs in work and even on social media, of course, as well as even having some peers from my school actually be scared of me, scared to approach me. And this is all because of just what I wear. And it doesn't help that I get anxious and very insecure about the American view of hijabis in today's society.
I would say it might be hard, but it's also challenging and rewarding in a way, because I feel like sometimes as a hijab wearing woman, you might walk into a room where people are automatically trying to get you to fit their stereotypes and their limitations of you and what they think you're capable of. But when I walk into a room with that sincere intention and my hijab on and a purpose, I take joy in sort of pushing myself to represent the things that my faith instills in me, like values like respect, conviction, compassion. And I think, by doing that, I not only allow myself to grow as an individual, but I push others to grow as an individual as well. So it might be hard walking into a space that wasn't designed to have room for you, but that only means that you've been given an opportunity to make that space not only for yourself, but for those who come after you.
My favorite thing about wearing the hijab is when someone comes up to me and asks me a question about it, a question about me or about my faith, because it shows me that there are still people out there who don't just see something and label it as a different thing and just keep walking away, but instead they are willing to take the time and attempt to understand the world around them.
It helps me to increase my my belief in my religions, and it helps me to get better every time, to get to know and to living my life as a Muslim. And then the other things, wearing hijab in here also prevent me from getting the air pollutions and sunburn. So I think it also health for my body and for my skin. So
that like it is, you can style it up, you can style it down. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like the days I have a bad hair day, which is 9 out of 10 times, it's so convenient like wearing the hijab. I just throw on this, you know, my head scarf, and you wouldn't even know that, you know, my hair is a hot mess. So like I really do like that. Now on a deeper level, for sure, you know, like I keep saying, I do love being visibly Muslim. You know, I do love, you know, when I see another Muslim person and we say salam and we greet each other and we have like this, you know, thing going on because we know we're both Muslim, you know, living in a non-Muslim country. Or when someone who is non-Muslim is curious about me being a Muslim and they ask me a billion questions, and you know, I like that, you know, and it just makes me feel kind of proud of who I am as a Muslim woman.
My favorite thing about wearing hijab is that I truly have found a sense of purpose and identity, you know, that I think a lot of people feel lost without. It challenges me to do better every single day. It challenges me to fight my own desires, to prove to myself that I'm capable of living for a purpose and a meaning that goes beyond myself and my own needs and my own desires. And I think that's a very beautiful and important thing. And I think it in turn inspires me to be more open and more vulnerable and more compassionate with the people around me. And of course, all of the beautiful people, you know, that have came into my life that I've met or grown closer to as a result of wearing hijab. I'm beyond grateful for them inspiring me constantly, still to this day, on my journey as a proud hijab wearing woman.
And it's just it's an identifier. Like if people like see the hijab, they know it's a Muslim. So like I have other people just saying hi, assalamu alaikum, and I'm like, assalamu alaikum assalam.
Well, I love when people come up and ask me about the hijab or compliment me on the hijab. It kind of brightens my day because it makes me feel there are people out there that have not been corrupted by today's backwards views in the news and media. They choose to ask themselves in search for real meaning and not just to be fed the hatred and fear that is being spilled into today's world.
One thing, you never have a bad hair day when you're wearing hijab. So we don't have a bad hijab day. It's always very easy to wear it. If you think this is like kind of suffocating me or bothering me, you know, it's very loose.
Wanted to share with you my favorite hijab. It's this one. It has, as you can see, these beautiful pastel colors. I really like it. I usually wear it in summer and it's very light, yeah, and it brings back so many good memories.
I have so many favorite hijabs actually, but this one is like I think the most favorite one because like it has glitter on it. Like I don't know what the fabric, but like this is so great. It's a square hijab. Yeah, so this is the look.
This right here, this is my favorite headscarf. I never wore it before, but it's still my favorite. It's just, it feels really nice and it's really breathable. I was actually gonna wear this with a really nice dress for my high school prom, but Miss Corona rolled over and everything got canceled, so. But that's okay, maybe I'll wear it soon enough.
I wanted to share with you guys my favorite hijab. It's just, I love the colors. I can wear it with many things.
I would say my favorite hijab is actually this one. I love black hijabs, and there's just something about this texture that is just amazing. I don't find many hijabs that have this texture. I can't even describe it. It's just very airy. That's why I wore it for this video.
This is my favorite hijab.
And my favorite hijab is this one. This is just a patterned pashmina scarf that my mother had given me when I first started wearing hijab. And every time I wear it, I think back to that person who really pushed themselves to take a leap of faith and found something far greater than they could have ever imagined.
My favorite hijab, I'm wearing it. It's a black one. Simple, matches everything, and it has little rhinestones at the end.
Lastly, I wanted to share with you guys my favorite hijab, and it's this one with the floral print. The reason why it's my favorite, it makes me happy. It reminds me of like spring flowers, and it also shows that although something is really important to me, or it can be very serious, but at the same time it can be fun. You get to choose different patterns and like match your outfits and make a fun day out of it.
Happy Hijab Day!
Happy World Hijab Day!
Happy World Hijab Day!
Happy World Hijab Day!
Happy World Hijab Day.